I was so close to saying, I do. So close to believing my life was finally falling into place. My wedding dress hung in the closet, the whole town of Camden buzzing with excitement. Emily Harper, the girl who won Nathan Cole's heart. But that night, everything shattered. I saw the messages, words that weren't meant for me, words he shared with her, Lauren, while I planned our future, while I carried our child. It was a chilly night, the kind that bites at your skin and makes you want to curl up tight. I was in our house, the one we picked out together, holding a cup of tea that had gone cold. Nathan was in the shower, humming softly, like the world was perfect. My phone was dead, so I grabbed his. Just needed to check the time for my dress fitting, that's all. But then a notification popped up. Lauren, don't worry, she won't find out. Meet you tomorrow. My heart stopped. I clicked. I don't know why I clicked. Maybe deep down, I already knew. Messages, laughter, plans. Plans that didn't include me. Every word cut deeper, each one a stab. She's so excited about the wedding. It's almost sad. They were laughing at me, laughing while I counted down the days to be his wife. My hand shook so hard the phone slipped to the floor. Nathan stepped out of the bathroom, towel around his waist, flashing that smile that always melted me. "What's wrong, babe?" he asked, like nothing was off. I couldn't speak. My voice was trapped, swallowed by a rage I didn't know I could feel. "Who's Lauren?" I whispered, barely audible. He laughed, said she was just a co-worker, that I was overreacting. But his eyes, those blue eyes I loved, they lied. I knew. I didn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling, thinking about our baby. 3 months. So tiny, so fragile, already growing inside me. I wanted to scream, to break everything, but all I could do was cry, quietly, so he wouldn't hear. Camden was ready for the wedding, my family, my friends, my Uncle James, all waiting to see me walk down the aisle. But I couldn't. Not after this. Not with him. The next morning, while Nathan slept, I grabbed my bag, the car keys, and a photo of my mom. She was always my safe place, even after she was gone. Her house in Portland sat empty for years, but it was the only place I could breathe, the only place I could figure out what happened. I drove for hours, the road blurred by tears. Camden faded behind me, with its lights, its smiles, its plans. I didn't know what I'd find in Portland, didn't know if I could pick myself up. But I knew I couldn't go back. I got to my mom's house as night fell dark and heavy. The wind rattled the windows, and the silence felt like it could swallow me whole. I stepped inside, clutching her photo to my chest. My belly, still so small, was the only reminder I wasn't completely alone. I sank to the floor in the dusty living room and cried. Cried for me, for my baby, for the future I thought I'd have. But deep down, something told me this wasn't the end, that there was more. Something worse, hiding, waiting to be found. If this story's hitting you hard, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps us keep bringing stories like this to you. And tell me, where are you listening from? I want to know where you're at right now. Because in that house that night, I didn't know yet. Didn't know the worst wasn't the betrayal. Didn't know his journal, tucked away in those walls, held a secret that would change everything. I didn't know where I was going, didn't know what to do with myself. Nathan's betrayal still burned, like a wound that wouldn't heal. His words, those texts with Lauren, played on repeat in my head, each one a punch to the gut. I drove without stopping, Camden's lights shrinking in the rear view as my mom's house in Portland drew closer. It was like I was running from a nightmare, but it followed me, clinging like a shadow. My hand rested on my belly, feeling the weight of my baby, so small, so real. He was the only thing holding me together. When I pulled up to my mom's house, the air was cold, damp, with that salty Portland breeze. The house looked the same, but different. Peeling wallpaper, creaking floors, curtains heavy with dust. It was like stepping into a museum of my childhood, every corner sparking a memory of my mom. I felt her there, in the silence, like I could hear her voice telling me to be strong. But I didn't feel strong. I felt broken, lost, my heart in pieces, and a future I didn't recognize anymore. I sat on the old couch, holding her photo. Her kind brown eyes seemed to look back at me. I cried until I had no tears left, until exhaustion pulled me under. I fell asleep right there, curled up, dreaming of the days when everything felt perfect. A knock at the door woke me. My heart raced. For a second, I thought it was Nathan, coming with more lies. But it wasn't. It was Maya Torres, the neighbor. Gray hair loose, a colorful shawl over her shoulders, and a smile that seemed to know everything. "You look like you could use some tea," she said, not even asking who I was or why I was there. Maya walked in like she belonged. She put the kettle on and started talking. Told me about her life, the divorce that broke her years ago, the strength she found to rebuild. Her words were soft but steady, like a hand pulling you up. "You're not alone, Emily," she said. I don't know why, but I believed her. Maybe it was the way she looked at me, like she saw the pain I was trying to hide. We drank tea in silence, and for the first time in days, I felt a flicker of warmth in my chest. But the house wouldn't let me forget. While sorting through my mom's things, trying to make sense of the mess in my life, I found something. In the guest room, where Nathan worked when he visited, there was an old box half hidden behind a dresser. Inside, a journal. Not mine, not my mom's, his. Black cover, worn, with his handwriting scratched on the first page. My stomach twisted. I knew I shouldn't open it, but how could I not? How could I ignore something he hid from me? I opened the first page. Names, numbers, notes that didn't make sense, meetings with people I didn't know, dates marked in red. It wasn't just an affair with Lauren. It was bigger, darker. My heart pounded so hard I could barely breathe. Every line I read felt like a step into a place I didn't want to be. But I couldn't stop. Not now. I held that journal like it was a live wire. My hand shook, like the night I saw the messages. What was Nathan hiding? What else could he take from me? I didn't know. But sitting there, in the quiet of that house, with my baby's weight and my mom's voice in my head, something shifted. It wasn't just pain anymore. It was anger. A fire starting to burn. And that journal, with its secrets, was the spark. I couldn't let go of the journal. Each page was a blow, each word a piece of a truth I never wanted to face. Nathan wasn't just a cheater. He was a monster. I sat on the floor of the guest room, the dim lamp casting shadows on the walls. My belly felt heavy, a constant reminder of the baby I carried, the future I thought we'd share. But there, in Nathan's notes, I saw a man I never knew. A man who planned everything, even our love. The pages talked about money, names of people I recognized from town, elderly clients, friends of my Uncle James. He listed amounts, transfers, accounts I'd never heard of. Every line was proof Nathan was stealing, manipulating, betraying people who trusted him. But the worst came later. One sentence, in his familiar handwriting, froze me. The pregnancy was my idea. She's the key to the Harper Trust. My heart stopped. I read it again, as if the words could change. He wanted the baby. Not out of love, for money, for power. He used our child, used me to get to my uncle's investment fund. I wanted to scream, but my voice wouldn't come. Wanted to cry, but my tears were gone. All I felt was a rage so deep it seemed to consume me. How did I not see? How did I let him into my life? I hated myself for every moment I believed him, every dream I had of our family. I closed the journal, but the words stayed, burning in my mind. I couldn't stay still. Couldn't let this go on. Maya showed up again, like she knew I needed her. She found me there on the floor, the journal in my lap. "Emily, what's going on?" she asked, her brown eyes full of worry. I told her everything. The texts with Lauren, the journal, the scheme, the plan with the baby. My voice shook, but I didn't stop. Maya listened, not interrupting, just holding my hand. When I finished, she said something I'll never forget. You're not what he did to you. You're stronger than that. And for the first time, I wanted to believe it. She convinced me to call my Uncle James. He needed to know. I grabbed the phone, hands still trembling, and dialed. James answered with that warm voice, full of concern. Emily, where are you? Everyone's looking for you. I swallowed hard and told him. About Nathan, the journal, the money. He went quiet for so long I thought the call dropped. I trusted him, he said finally, his voice breaking. I'll check everything, Emily. Don't worry. But I was worried, because Nathan was still out there, living his life, while mine fell apart. Then she showed up, Lauren. I was on the porch trying to breathe when I heard tires crunching on the driveway. There she was, stepping out of a sleek black car, hair pulled into a perfect bun, face cold as ice. Where's the journal, Emily? She demanded, no pleasantries. My blood ran cold. How did she know? Why was she here? You don't know what you're dealing with, she said, her tone almost a threat. I stood up, clutching my belly like I could shield my baby from her, from him, from everything. Get out of my house, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. She laughed, a sharp cutting sound, and left. But her words lingered. I knew I couldn't stop. Couldn't let Nathan and Lauren keep doing this. But as I held that journal, staring into the darkness outside, I felt the weight of something bigger, something I didn't yet understand. What else was he hiding? What else would I find if I kept digging? I didn't know. But one thing was clear. I wasn't the Emily who trusted blindly anymore, and that scared me as much as it gave me strength. I couldn't stay still anymore, not after what I read in the journal, not after Lauren showed up at my door, thinking she could scare me. The anger I felt wasn't just for me. It was for my baby, my family, the people Nathan deceived. I stood up, journal in hand, and decided I was going to fight. I was going to expose everything. Maya was by my side, urging me on, saying justice starts with one step. And that was mine. I drove to the police station in Portland. The building was cold, stark, people rushing around. My heart pounded, but I didn't waver. I handed the journal to Detective Sarah Nguyen. She was in her 40s, with short black hair and eyes that cut through lies. Tell me everything, she said, sitting across the table, notepad ready. I did. The texts with Lauren, the money scheme, how Nathan planned the pregnancy to manipulate my family. Sarah listened, scribbling, unflinching. This is serious, Emily. Fraud, manipulation. We'll investigate. Her words were a relief, but also a weight, because now it was real. No turning back. Back in Camden, the rumors were flying. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Friends, family, all wanting to know why I bailed on the wedding. What happened, Emily? Nathan's a wreck. I ignored the calls, but the texts kept coming. From Nathan, of course. You're ruining everything, Emily. Come back, we'll talk. He blamed me, like I was the bad guy. Like his betrayal was my fault. Every message was a stab, trying to make me doubt myself. But I didn't doubt anymore. I saw who he was. Maya kept me grounded. We sat in the kitchen sipping tea, and she shared her story. The husband who manipulated her left her with nothing. I thought it was the end, she said, eyes distant. But it was the beginning. You'll see, Emily. This pain will make you unstoppable. Her stories gave me strength, reminded me I wasn't alone, that other women had been through this and came out stronger. My Uncle James called again. He'd checked the accounts, the investments. Nathan fooled me too, he said, voice thick with anger. Fake transfers, missing money. I trusted him because of you. His guilt was heavy, but he didn't stop there. "I'm with you, Emily. We'll get this guy." James joined the fight, sending documents to Sarah, helping the investigation. It was like the family was rallying against a common enemy. For the first time in days, I felt a spark of hope, but then came the twist. Going back to the journal, which Sarah had copied before taking the original, I found a note that chilled me. "After the wedding, split with L, take the money, leave it all behind. L. Lauren. They planned to run. Take the stolen money, leave me alone with the baby, like I didn't matter." My stomach churned. It wasn't just betrayal. It was a cold, calculated plan. He never loved me, never wanted the baby, just power, money. I cried again, but it was different. Pure anger, mixed with resolve. Sarah confirmed parts of the investigation. "We're tracking the accounts. Lauren's involved, Emily, but we need more." I knew what I had to do. Confront Nathan, face to face. Despite the fear crawling up my spine, despite the voice in my head telling me to run, I needed to hear it from him, see the truth in his eyes. Maya tried to talk me out of it. "It's dangerous," she said, but I didn't listen. I set the meeting, a cafe in Camden, the place where it all started. I didn't know what would happen, didn't know if I could handle seeing him again. But one thing I knew, I wasn't the weak Emily anymore, and that gave me the courage to face whatever came next. I didn't sleep the night before. The cafe in Camden felt like a battlefield in my mind. Nathan. I was going to see him again, hear his voice, face those eyes that lied to me for so long. My stomach twisted, but I held on. Maya tried to stop me. "He doesn't deserve your time," she said, eyes full of worry. But I needed this, needed to close it, needed to see the truth on his face. I got there early. The cafe was the same one where we met, smelling of fresh coffee, the ocean humming in the distance. I sat in a corner booth, the copied journal in my lap like a weapon. My Uncle James called before. "I'm here if you need me," he said. "Sarah's making progress on the case." It gave me strength. I wasn't alone. When Nathan walked in, my heart raced. He looked the same, confident, charming, with that smile that hid everything. He sat across from me, acting like nothing had changed. "Emily, babe, I'm so glad you came." He started with lies. "It was a mistake. Lauren means nothing. Let's move past this, for the baby." His voice was smooth, manipulative, as always. But I saw it now, saw the calculation in his eyes. "No," I said, my voice steady. "It wasn't just Lauren. It was the journal, the money, the plans." His eyes widened for a split second. Just a second. Then he laughed. "What journal? You're losing it, Emily. Pregnancy making you paranoid?" But I didn't stop. I pulled out the copied pages, tossed them on the table. "Here, your words. Stealing from old folks, using our baby to get to my uncle." Nathan changed. The charm vanished. His eyes turned cold, hard. "You don't get it," he snapped. "I did this for us, for our future." Lies. It was for him. Always was. He leaned in, voice low. "If you talk, you'll ruin everything, including yourself." The threat hung there, but I didn't back down. "I already talked," I said, "to the police, to James. It's over, Nathan." He stood, face red with rage. "You'll regret this." He stormed out, slamming the door, leaving the cafe silent. I was shaking, but not from fear, from relief, from power. I drove back to Portland, heart pounding. Sarah called on the way. "We got him, Emily. Nathan's been arrested. Lauren, too. She confessed. She was in on the whole scheme." The words echoed. Arrested. Done. The scandal spread through Camden. Local papers, gossip, people I knew calling, shocked. How could he? But I felt empty. Guilt ate at me. How didn't I see? How did I let him use me? My baby kicked, like a reminder it was okay, but it wasn't. I was scared. Scared of raising him alone, scared I wouldn't be enough. Maya took me to a support group. Women like me, in a simple room, sharing pain. One spoke of betrayal, another of loss. Their eyes, full of strength, hit me hard. "You survive," one said, "and you get stronger." I cried there, letting it out. Maya held my hand, like always. "Look, Emily, this is community, this is healing." That night, staring at my mom's house, something clicked. It was more than a refuge. It could be for others. A safe place for women broken by life, by betrayal, by loss. A place to rebuild, to give back what Maya gave me. I called James. "I want to turn the house into something good." He agreed, voice proud. "Let's do it." But as I planned, a doubt grew. Nathan in jail didn't end everything. The trial, the fallout. Was I ready? I didn't know. But the fire inside me burned brighter. Months passed, but the pain still felt alive, like a scar that itches sometimes. I was different, though. No longer the Emily who fled Camden with a broken heart. I stood tall, stronger, even with the weight of my belly now so visible. Nathan's trial came, and with it, a chance to close this chapter. I walked into the Portland courthouse, the cold wind stinging my face, my baby kicking like he knew it was a big day. Maya was by my side, as always, her hand steady on mine. James came too, his eyes a mix of pride and guilt. I wasn't alone. In the courtroom, I saw Nathan one last time. He was there, handcuffed, the charm gone, his face worn. Lauren sat beside him, hair pulled tight, eyes down. I testified. My voice didn't shake anymore. I told everything. The texts, the journal, the scheme, the betrayal. Every word felt like freedom. Nathan tried to stare me down, but he looked away. He knew he'd lost. The judge read the verdict: fraud, money laundering, prison for both. The room went quiet, but inside me, it was like a storm had finally stopped. Camden wasn't the same. People whispered when I passed, some with pity, others with respect. I didn't care. I didn't need their approval. I had my baby, had Maya, had James, and I had a purpose. My mom's house, once just a refuge, became more. I called it Harper Haven, a space for women like me, broken by life, by betrayal, by loss. Women who needed a place to breathe, to rebuild. James helped with the funds. Maya brought ideas, stories, warmth. At the opening, I saw new faces, eyes full of hope, and felt my mom there, somehow, smiling. Maya gave me a letter that night. Her words, written in her steady hand, said I was more than the pain Nathan caused, that I was strength, that I was light. I cried reading it, but it was a soft cry, full of gratitude. She taught me what community means, what giving back means. And there, at Harper Haven, I made a promise to myself. My child would grow up knowing this. Knowing pain doesn't define you. Love, strength, connection with others. That's what does. I walked along Camden's shore, the gray sea roaring softly, my hand on my belly, feeling my baby, my future. The wind carried away the weight of the past. I didn't have all the answers, didn't know what raising a kid alone would be like, but I knew I could, knew I was enough. And looking at the horizon, I felt a peace I hadn't felt in forever. A peace that said, "You won." If this story moved you, comment below with the word resilience. Tell me where you're watching from and what time it is there. Like, subscribe, and share. I want to know how far this story's reached, because at its core, it's not just my story. It's for everyone who's fallen and gotten back up. But as the waves crashed on the shore, one question lingered. What else did life have in store for me? What would the future bring?